Every day, we use Alaska's infrastructure. It's the roads and bridges we drive on. It's the water we drink. It's the power to our house. It's how we get our goods, and it's how Alaska gets its goods out to the world. But infrastructure is fragile, especially in the far north. And time, weather, and lack of maintenance funds threaten to undo what took many years to build. In urban parts of Alaska, we often take our infrastructure for granted, but it didn't come easy. Long before Alaska was a state, and before its cities even existed, Native peoples found ways to adapt to the land and meet their needs. Later, as the Russians and then the Americans came, settlements were built to support the economy. Selling furs, gold, timber, and fish to the world brought on a need for harbors and roads. Resource development required power, and settlement of people required infrastructure to support it. Through peace and war and peace again, Alaska became connected to the world through new colonies, military installations, the Alaska Highway, statehood, the Great Alaska Earthquake, and oil development. The Trans-Alaska Pipeline was built and completed in 1977. Since then, it has carried billions of barrels of North Slope oil to Valdez and is the economic lifeblood of the state. We've benefited from the investment that our oil development has brought, our strategic military and commercial location, and the newness of our state. Billions of dollars have gone in, and we have a lot to show for it. Our streets, highways, water and sewer, and power infrastructure have improved immensely. Construction was the priority, and much got done, but maintenance sometimes lagged behind. While we still have a young state and enjoy modern amenities in our urban areas, these benefits are not shared equally by all Alaskans. In fact, even the Port of Anchorage is challenged due to corrosion and needs $300 million in facilities maintenance and life cycle replacement. Many ports and harbors in rural areas have unmet needs. That's why ASCE gave ports and harbors a grade of D. With so many communities not being accessible by land, aviation is the lifeline for many Alaskans, earning a C grade. Alaskans travel by air 8 times more than Americans on average. Providing the lifeline for many rural communities, DOT and PF own and operate 240 rural airports, many located off the road system. Aviation is a huge economic engine, contributing about $3.5 billion annually to the state's economy. The airport is equally important for the small community receiving much of their mail and consumables by air, as it is for Anchorage, with the second largest cargo airport in the Union. For comparison, Alaska is nearly 2.5 times larger than Texas, but only has 1/25th the amount of road miles. Needless to say, travel by car and freight shipping around the state is limited. Due to the extreme varying weather conditions across the state and melting permafrost, plowing roads and maintaining pavement is a massive undertaking. With ever-shrinking budgets for operations and maintenance, new and innovative ways to address the challenges must be explored. We can no longer afford to defer critical investments. We need to prepare for the future and to use new approaches to assure our infrastructure is more resilient. And this will only be possible with leadership, planning, and a clear vision for Alaska's infrastructure. With that leadership, we can do it. Together, let's raise the grade. There are 4 key solutions identified which can raise Alaska's grade. First, have a plan and fund for the future. All infrastructure owners must create and fund capital replacement plans for both immediate and long-term needs. Second, maintenance is key for Alaska. The physical tyranny of distance and the extreme weather conditions necessitates performing basic infrastructure maintenance, including a committed investment to train personnel to conduct basic maintenance in rural Alaska. Third is keeping up infrastructure improvement efforts. Elected officials need to lead the efforts to improve Alaska's infrastructure for today and in the future. Although the fiscal health of the state is currently strained, delaying necessary infrastructure investment will not only extend the recession, but will result in higher out-of-pocket costs to the public in terms of great expenses caused by insufficient infrastructure, such as poor roads, inefficient airports and harbors, or public utilities. Finally, we must innovate as we replace. The investments needed to improve our infrastructure continue to increase well beyond available funding. How do we close the infrastructure gap? ASCE has issued a grand challenge to significantly enhance the performance and value of infrastructure projects over their life cycles by 2025. In Alaska, this includes innovation to provide basic health and sanitation infrastructure systems in our remote villages, which can be constructed and maintained in a sustainable manner. Our challenges did not arise overnight, and the adage, "We can afford what we prioritize," provides a pathway towards prosperity. This is why our elected leaders need to be steadfast in prioritizing investment opportunities. By doing so, it would optimize our investments and support economic diversity in our region. Without a doubt, our federal, state, local, and tribal governments are key to successful and sustainable infrastructure investment. Alaska's history has been built around resources extraction and the infrastructure which has allowed for sustainable development. The future of the 49th state is bright. With smart, target investment into infrastructure, will fulfill its promise of North to the Future.